Hey, look, Puff! There's Bobby's video on TV! Hey, Bobby!
So dysfunctional.
How'd you like that intro? Anywho, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is just going to be about the books that I read in the month of February. Just trying to remember what freaking month I'm filming for here. I ended up reading 8 books. Not too shabby. And let's just get right into the freaking video. Okay, so the first book that I read in February was Our Dark Stars by Audrey Gray and Crystal Wade. And it is an amazing YA kind of romance themed sci-fi standalone. Might be a series later on in the future. Fingers crossed. We'll see. I don't know where they're planning on going with this. But I absolutely adored it. It kind of read similar to the Lunar Chronicles, but I think I enjoyed this a little bit more just because it read a little bit more mature. Lunar Chronicles, yes, I loved the series, but it also read very middle grade to me. I don't know why, but this was amazing. It had good representation, had sexual diversity, racial diversity, had positive messages, and I think if you're looking for a book to kind of cure your like book hangover or book slump, I would definitely recommend this and give it a go. I did a full spoiler-free review, which I will link down below, and you should go check it out because I'm pretty proud of that review. The whole review is Rugrats themed, and I used only Rugrats gifs. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure I had the Rugrats theme song stuck in my head that day I was writing the review, and I was just like, started looking up Rugrats gifs. Who knows? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing sometimes. Anyways, go check out the review. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it because it is a standalone, so I don't want to give away too much. So the main female protagonist in this book is Princess Talia Starchaser, and she's just turned 18, and her parents are like, hey, you're going to get married and you are going to secure an alliance with another kingdom for us because we want to prevent more destruction because there's a war that's been going on within the galaxy. And Talia's like, you know, this kind of sucks. I don't want to do this, but I don't want to disappoint my family. So they host this huge banquet where she gets to meet her fiance. And right away, she's just like, dude's good looking, but he's also a douche. People of this galaxy use mock humans, also known as human replicas, as their slaves. The galaxy is at war with these mocks because there's a lot of rebel mocks that are overriding their systems and that are disobeying their owners, and then they're going and causing all of this destruction and stuff. And Talia's lady-in-waiting, and who happens to be her best friend, is also a mock. So he tells Talia, hey, you're gonna kill her if you want me to marry you because I need to know that you're loyal to me. And things take a crazy, crazy turn. And I think if you want to know more, you should go check out my Rugrat review. Okay, so the second book that I ended up reading was Shimmer and Burn, and this is the first installment to the Shimmer and Burn series, and it's by Mary Taranta? I don't know. It was amazing. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it. I thought it was probably one of the most unique premises that I've read in a long time. Some might disagree with me, but I thought it was really cool, and I really liked the main female protagonist, Ferris, in it, and I liked the magic kind of element to it, and there's a little bit of romance, but I had a lot of fun reading this book, and I am just dying to get my hands on the sequel. I can't. I need to know what the hell happens to all of these characters, and I will link the book down below. I didn't do a review for it. I was just kind of at a loss for words once I finished it because I just thought it was so amazing, but I ended up giving it 5 stars, and if you want to know more about it, you can check out the link. Okay, so the next book that I ended up reading was a comic book, and it's called The Mighty Captain Marvel, Volume 1, Alien Nation or something like that. Honestly, I did not like it. I think I gave it 1 star. I just kind of picked this up on a whim at my local library, but I was honestly so disappointed with it. But thank God it literally took me like not even 30 minutes to read it, but it was horrible. I can't even really tell you what it's about because it was all over. Like, I didn't even really know what was going on, and the writing was just so sloppy, and I just did not like the main MC in this comic book, and I'm not going to waste your time talking about it that much because I didn't like it. But I will still post a link down below in case you want to check out how shitty this book is, then you can just go and check out the ratings and see for yourself. But I mean, hey, if you like comic books, don't let my opinion discourage you. You can always give it a go, but honest to God, don't waste your money on this. The next book that I ended up reading was a poetry collection, and that is by Lorna Crozier. Thank the Lord that I picked this up at my library because I would have cried myself to sleep if I spent my money on this. I don't think it really has anything to do with the author or the poet. I just didn't like the poetry. I couldn't connect with it really, and it is modern poetry, so I mean, if you're into that, and I'm not opposed to modern poetry, I just didn't really connect with this. I appreciated what she was trying to go for. She's really eccentric and like out there, and she uses it's like she's very abstract in her writing, and I appreciated that, but I didn't feel any connection towards it. The only poem that I actually enjoyed was Field Studies The Fly, even though that was like so weird. Look it up on Google. It is weird. But anywho, I wouldn't tell people not to pick it up, but I also wouldn't recommend it. On to like some positive things. I read a really amazing collection of modern poetry last month, and that was by Brittany Cavallaro, and it was called The Girl King. Holy shit, why aren't people talking about this collection? I think this is probably one of the most underrated collections of poetry that I've ever read. I know that she's really known for, I think it's the Study in Charlotte series. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh my god, I could be wrong. But this was just amazing, and I think if you are a lover of poetry and you like historical kind of inspired poetry, and it's a little bit kind of a feminist inspired collection as well. I did a kind of mini review on it, and I included my favorite poem. The review's linked down below, and I just think that it's super underrated, and it's not that long. It's like 60 or 70 pages, but I hope she comes out with more work. Okay, so the next book that I read is by Victoria Schwab, and that was the second book, Shades of Magic series. There's not a whole lot to say about this book because I realized actually halfway when I was reading this that I am in love with all of these characters, and I'm going to be so sad when I finish the last book because I've just grown so much. Like, I've put so much into these characters, and I've just wholeheartedly invested into them, and I just absolutely love them, and I love Kel. I know some people are like, ooh, Delilah, she's a little bit annoying, and she always tries to be a badass and whatnot, and yeah, I kind of agree with people, but I think that's what makes her who she is, and I love the yin and kind of yang between her and Kel, and I can't wait to see how this series ends. I did a review on the first book of the series, which I'll link down below if you haven't read it, but I think like everybody's freaking read this series. Okay, so if you've been watching, I swear to God, like, how am I not like Italian? Like, I use my hands so much. I'm gonna try to put them down. Anyways, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know that I'm obsessed with retellings. I love retellings, like, just, I love them. And I ended up picking up Poison by Sarah Pinborough, and oh my god, that was a mistake. I honestly don't even know where to begin. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it because it was just horrible. I did a little mini kind of not even a mini, just kind of like a little barf of, of a review. Just, it's a loose retelling of Snow White, and it was kind of read similar to, you know, the story Snow White and the Huntsman with Kristen Stewart, which, but I just, yeah, I didn't like this. And it's marketed as like YA, but dear Lord, this is not like YA at all. The scenes were very sexually explicit, and I would only recommend this for a very mature reader. But apparently this trilogy, the stories kind of weave together, and it kind of wraps up in the third book. In order to like give it a fair chance, I need to read the next 2 installments, and then I can talk about how barfy the series is, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But I'm not in a rush to read this because I'm still traumatized and emotionally recovering. I think I ended up giving it like 1 star. The writing was lovely. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't anything special, but she like ruined Snow White for me, and it's going to take me a while to get over it, basically. After I finished that horrible book that I mentioned, I needed something to kind of, that was a little bit fluffier, and that was like more of a positive romance, but it was kind of a quick read, and I ended up picking up The Lady Who Lived Again, and it's the part of the Soul Survivor series by Thomasine Rappold. And these books, or this first book, I've already read the second book, but you'll hear about that in like March, my March wrap up. But the first book, The Lady Who Lived Again, it's a fluffy, like, adult read, and it has a little bit of kind of paranormal elements to it. It's super quick. Like, I think I flew through it. It's only like a 220 pages. It was just kind of a fun, like, happily ever after read, and it has a little bit of smut, you know, but that's what I needed to kind of recover from the last book. I enjoyed it, and I was really happy that this ended up being the last book that I read, and I ended February on a good note. So anyways, as I've already said like 50 million times, all of my reviews will be linked down below, and all of the books that I've mentioned will always be linked down below. And hey, like, you can check me out on Instagram. I'm a little active on Twitter. Check out my Goodreads as well if you want to come and say hi. And shoot me a message if you have any questions about these books. Leave a comment down below, and I hope that you'll stick around. Thank you to all of those who have stuck around. I know that last month I wasn't as active, but give this a thumbs up. Hopefully you'll subscribe, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Thanks for watching.
It's functional. Oh, can you feel it? Can you? Like I feel it. Well, I'm so. It's functional. Can you feel it?